Let's Talk Chemistry with Pastor Dan. We're going to practice the 2 electron placements before the test. The test will be in a couple of days. So I'm going to have 2 different practices so we can consider these 2 different days. So here's the first one. Okay, so we have 3 emission problems. So the first one I'm asking you to find the frequency. So make sure you watch the units there and given the wavelength in nanometers. Second one, I'm asking you to find the energy given the wavelength in nanometers. So it's going to be a 2-step process. And third one, I'm asking you to find the wavelength, the lambda, the nanometers, given the energy. So basically, you're taking the problem, working it backwards. I'm going to ask you to do these 3 both long and short, and then also identify the quantum numbers for those 3 problems. And then lastly, tell me what element are those 3 sets of quantum numbers. All right, copy those down. If you need to pause, great. And the second set of practice is right here. So this is 2 pages. Again, we have 3 emission problems. I've got 3 long electron configuration and 2 short, and then 3 of the identify the last configuration, give me the quantum numbers. So again, if you need to pause it, copy those down and go through it from there. All right, and let's do the answers, which are right here. First set of answers. I had a couple errors I had to fix on these. That's why they're crossed out. So those are all correct. And then, oops, let me go back here in case you need these up here. Okay, and then for the second set of answers, it's right here. All righty. Okay, so pause it if you need to. All righty. All right, I've got time, so you know what that means. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, so that's on my heart. I don't know where you're at this point, but we're in November, and we just had the elections. And so God spoke to me about talking about civic responsibility and voting. In Romans, I believe it's 13, Paul talks about being willing to be under the dominion of those who are in authority over you, and that those ultimately comes from God. Now, in the United States, we have a tendency to be a little bit almost rebellious, not wanting to listen to other people. And as long as the government doesn't do anything that God demands, something that God denies, or denies something that God demands, we should show proper respect to all those in authority, even the ones we don't necessarily agree with. That being said, when it comes time to an election, you need to vote. God has granted us the opportunity, the privilege to be in a nation where we have the opportunity to vote. Well, it doesn't matter, they're all crooks. There's a certain level of that I do understand, but here's the thing. God gave us that responsibility, and we could have been born anywhere. Could have been born in any country at any time, any place. We are placed here. And as such, we're to be salt and light. And as such, we're supposed to reflect what it means. So if God gave us this chance to share the love of Christ and try to put people in positions that will advance the cause of Christ, then we need to do that. And when we don't do that, we're negating our responsibility. We're pushing off that what God gave us to do. So I encourage you to be active civically, to always show respect to those. But remember, no matter who is in office, Jesus sits on the throne. He's the one in charge. So we can be concerned and frustrated, but we do not need to worry, because in the end, I've read the back of the book. We win. So something you can focus on. Hopefully this helps out. Test will be in a couple days. Take care. Be good. God bless.